Welcome to the 10-minute daily reality check. David Wygant here, and loving this. We are cruising through the first week of the daily reality check. Like I said, everything is basically mind to mouth. Just say it. Oh, that happens to be, well, the title of today's podcast, and I'm going to get into that in 1 second, but I'm starting to think like spring is coming, man. Something is happening in the air. It's called warmer weather is happening. It's been really warm here this week. It's been the first really warm week we've had in a long time because in Southern California, there is something called winter. Now, maybe it's not the same winter that you guys have. It's a little bit of a pussy winter, okay? I got to admit that. 58 degrees feels a little chilly. 45 at night feels really cold. Just the other day, I was driving back from Palm Desert, where I spent a few days up there, and I was in 44-degree weather. It was so cool that I actually got out of my car just to feel what 44-degree weather feels like again. Because, yeah, I've been a little spoiled, even though I'm from New York City. Anyway, as you notice, when it comes down to life and living and loving and playing, you realize that a lot of the time, I am always the mind-to-mouth person. My best friend Greg says it perfectly. He'll hang out with me, we'll be going out, I'll start talking to somebody, and I'll say something that he will absolutely cringe. He'll look at me, and he'll be like, oh, and I can see the expression on his face, right? Like he's been stabbed. And all of a sudden, instead of the person whipping out a gun and battering my head, the person looks at me and laughs and gives me a hug, and he says, only you can get away with saying whatever you want. Well, then again, we have a president of the United States right now called Donald Trump. Even though he does look like, now I want you to go look at this, Every Which Way But Loose with Clint Eastwood. It was an old movie about orangutans. I want you to take a look and you tell me, does Donald Trump look like an orangutan? Because orangutans have that same type of comb over. It's really, really funny. So Donald Trump won the presidency of the United States based on saying some of the most ridiculous things we've ever heard in our entire life. Every day Donald Trump will say something that's ridiculous. The other day, only Donald Trump can say this. They asked him where he gets his intelligence from, and he tweeted it, Fox News. Fucking hey, dude, wake up, man. You're the president of the U.S. You get intelligence from, like, kind of cool, weird people in black suits and, Cadillac Escalades and Suburbans that drive up to the White House in the middle of the night, man. You're not getting it on Bill O'Brien's Fox News show. That guy's getting it from some source. You're getting it from, like, the source. Donald Trump says things that are so ridiculous, so stupid, you think to yourself, oh my God, how did this man become president? Now, if you're a Trump person, okay, please don't get offended. We all have our opinion, right? And that's what mind to mouth is. It's about saying it. Imagine, in my book, Naked, I wrote about this. I called it Truth Serum Day. Now, for those of you that have done ecstasy, you know what truth serum really is. For those of you that have smoked pot or drank lots of alcohol, you know that sometimes you say the darndest things. Bill Cosby used to have a TV show saying the kids say the darndest things because kids are all about mind to mouth. They just say it. They tell you things. All of a sudden they look at you and go, I hate you. Okay, great, wonderful. I don't hate you, I love you. Well, I hate you. Okay, great. Kids say things all the time. I remember I was at a Dodger game one time, and there was a mind-to-mouth moment. I was with a client of mine. He was wearing a white shirt. He was very uptight all the time. He had his white button-down shirt at the Dodger game. He couldn't loosen up. I swore when he walked, he squeaked. So my job was to get the squeaking out of his hips and get the squeaking and the stick out of his ass so he can go and meet women and lighten up. That was my job, and I knew I could do it because there's nobody out there that I can't change, transform, or turn into what they want to be. So this little kid sitting down next to him, we ordered a couple of Dodger dogs. Dodger dogs are basically a heart attack. It's a 12-inch long heart attack on a 6-inch bun. So he fills it with mustard, and this kid's watching. And all of a sudden he takes a bite, and the mustard goes out one side, lands on his white shirt, and the little kid looks at him and says, Mister. And the guy looks at the little kid and says, what? He goes, you got mustard all over your shirt. You're such a slob, right? And he laughed for the first time probably in 30 years. Mind to mouth, just say it. Kids teach us things every single day, but yet we walk around with things and diseases. Women suffer from it too. It's called approach anxiety. The other day I was at the Arco station. I had to go take a leak. I was coming back from Palm Desert. It was chilly. It was cold. Remember the 44-degree day that I was talking about? Well, it was up there, and I wanted to wait in line to go pee, and I decided not to because the second I stood next to this girl, mind to mouth, what came out of her mouth? Absolutely nothing. She looked down at her phone, and she fucking reached for her security blanket, the iPhone, and she immediately started looking on Facebook. Mind to mouth, nobody's talking to each other anymore. They're walking around with iPhones. They're human zombies. They can't fucking handle it. Why? Because we're so afraid to say what we want. Yet, TJ, you're going to have a moment to fucking say something because you're back in the studio again, right?
Yep.
People will sit on Yelp and say things, okay? They'll have trolls on the internet. You'll watch a YouTube video and someone will say something obnoxious about something. Hey, that girl's ugly you were talking to, man. I think you're an idiot, you know? Yet people will be big man or big women on the internet. People will write Amazon, reviews. People will trash a restaurant because everybody wants to be a fucking critic. Everybody's an internet critic, yet because people are so afraid to talk to each other. So they finally voice their opinion, and most of it, a lot of it is very negative. Yeah, there are people that boast, very good reviews and stuff like that. But the reason why we're doing this is because it's all anonymous. Nobody wants to say anything to anybody anymore because they're so afraid to talk to each other. So we basically blab stuff out in chat rooms, in Yelp, and Amazon, and Priceline, and people write reviews nonstop because people are afraid to talk to each other. And what are we missing by not allowing the mind to mouth and just saying it to people every single day? We're missing one thing. And what is the one thing we're missing? Human fucking connection and love.
Yeah. And what I find to be the biggest catastrophe of it all is we're keeping our true selves, our authentic selves from people. Right, and initially we think, oh gosh, I'm losing out. Like one of my biggest things that I realized in coaching was, if I am not authentic with somebody, then I feel like I'm at a loss. Like it would be nice if I could be myself, right? But the real cost to it all is the people outside of you that lose out because you don't be your authentic self. You don't bring the real person to the show. So all those people around you, they lose. Initially you think it's me that's losing, but it's really not. It's everybody around you that's losing.
Everybody that you meet every single day is somebody you're supposed to meet anyway. It's
right.
A gift that you're all going to receive. So what I do is I walk around every single day and I think to myself, what gift am I about to receive today from these wonderful people? When I was driving back from Palm Desert, the German navigation system on my car took me the wrong direction, right? It made me go in another way. Get off at the exit and go through a town. So I went through the town, and I actually enjoyed it, and I looked at the way people lived in this goddamn godforsaken high desert mountain town, right? And I kind of enjoyed it, because that's exactly what it was, because to me, the magic of life is being able to experience what is ever there in front of me. So I will literally think, process, and talk, and show up authentically. Not only that, when you live a life from mind to mouth and you just say what you feel, guess what you're doing? You're living a life of not only your authentic truth, you don't have to remember a goddamn thing. Because you're not lying. You're not making something up. Not only that, when you do this, when you meet somebody or you're dating or having a relationship is based on who you really are instead of your representative. We've all dated the representative, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love the representative. Can I have the person who I dated the first 30 days? Because this person, let me tell you, I don't want this person. I didn't sign up for this shit. I want that person from the first 2 weeks. So living your authentic truth, saying what's ever on your mind, takes a practice of non-judgment of yourself.
Oh, yeah.
That's the biggest thing. Non-judgment of yourself. Because if you don't judge yourself, what happens is that you allow yourself to show up, which means that you're actually practicing the law of attraction. You know that if you say what is ever on your mind, you will attract a certain amount of people in your life. Some people might get repelled by you. Some people might get turned on by you. Some people might want to be with you. Some people might want to be your friend. But at least you're getting a reaction. I'm finding that all these fucking zombies that are walking around that are constantly not talking and being afraid to talk, they're not getting any reaction at all.
And the people that are supposed to be in your life will be. And the people that aren't supposed to be in your life won't be. Right? Like the people that care and are genuine, just like you, by saying mind to mouth, well, those are the people you want showing up in your life to begin with.
Howard Stern said it great, and we're going to run out of time. I'm going to leave this quote by Howard Stern. Howard Stern's absolutely amazing. Barbara Walter was a woman, and she still is a woman, okay? And she's a woman, and she got into the whole, like, neurotic thing of, like, Howard, I don't understand. What do you do with the haters? And Howard said something that was so brilliant. He says, I don't care about the haters. As a matter of fact, and this is, I don't know the full quote, but this is, the gist of it, right? I like the fact that people hate me because at least I cause an emotion in them. Love, hate, whatever it might be. If everybody liked me, then I wasn't doing my job. It's all about creating an emotion, and that's what you need to do. And that's what I'm doing, and that's what the 10-minute daily reality check is all about. It's literally my mind to my mouth, into the microphone, into this little GarageBand thing, onto iTunes, so you can download and listen to it so you can live a free life as well. 10-minute daily reality check every single day except Sundays, because on Sunday we break bread with our friends and you can catch up on shows. TJ, always a pleasure.
Great show, David. Thank you for having me.